Dobre rano, vesele velikonoce, moje canale. Good morning and happy Easter, my channel. We're back here at Penmar Park on another gorgeous, warm, sunny day here in Venice Beach, California. And today I'm super excited, not only because it's the holiday of Easter, but because I heard a rumor that the oceanfront bike path from Venice Beach all the way up to Pacific Palisades is now officially open. I heard within the last 24 hours the National Guard has vacated the blockade there at the Pacific Palisades border, and now pedestrians and bicycles can in fact ride all the way up the Pacific Palisades up to the very end of the bike path. So we're gonna go check that out. So come along for us on the ride here on Easter Sunday. Now, before we head down to the oceanfront bike path, the Marvin Braude path, we're gonna just take a quick little look around Penmar Park here, because what I've noticed on major holidays, there's kind of a unique phenomenon. Our RV and tent camper population practically dwindles down and diminishes to zero. There are no RVs around the park right now today. Easter Sunday, no RVs. I don't see any tent campers. We got one guy over here. Looks like he's sleeping next to a shopping cart. He's got a sleeping bag, so I'd count that as one tent camper, but our normal 6 to 10 of them in here are gone today. So to me, that begs the question, how come on holidays the unhoused homeless population drops to practically nothing around our local park? And my theory is that, all these people do in fact have friends and family. They've got some kind of support system. Here we are turning on Penmar here. Again, no RVs here. No tent campers on this side. Park looks clear. A couple people pedaling their bike across the field right here. That's it. I noticed the parking lot on Lake Street is about half empty as well. Usually that we've got a lot of cars, guys who live out of their cars. So again, my theory is that, in fact, the RV and tent camper people, they do have friends and family. They have a support system. They are invited to come home for the holidays, and they do in fact come home. Now, whether they are offered to stay with their family is another matter. I would assume that their families probably may not allow them to stay there because they're not willing to change their habits and lifestyles, or they simply don't want to stay there because they like the lifestyle of being out on their own in a city that doesn't enforce the law, that lets them just camp anywhere in public where they like. So some combination of thereof. But again, it's a very interesting phenomenon. How come on holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, the homeless population at Penmar Park is drastically reduced, almost non-existent. No RVs today, no camper vans, no vans, a couple cars in the parking lot, one tent camper. I would say that is about less than 10% of what we normally experience on a daily basis. Anyhow, just some food for thought there. Hoping all the families that are getting together today with those people who are in RVs and tents might be able to convince those members to change their lifestyles and come on back home and, break their bad habits and get on with leading their lives. Okay, we're back to Rose Ave here. Make sure we're not gonna get hit by a car as we cross back over, get on the bike lane, and head on down to Venice Beach Oceanfront Walk. We made it down to Oceanfront Walk and the Oceanfront bike path. And did you know that all these beautiful palm trees here are dying out? They're near the end of their life cycle. It's usually 30 to 40 years, so somebody had the bright idea of replacing them with Torrey Pines. And that's not part of the Venice Beach master plan. So luckily, this got called to the attention of the people of Venice and the Venice Neighborhood Council, and they took another vote on it, and 190 plus people said no. We don't think pine trees at the beach along the bike path and oceanfront walk and the parking lot would be a good idea. Can you imagine that? all the tar and needles when you're walking around barefoot, trying to swim, surf, boogie board, body surf, all that sap dripping on your car. Yeah, if the trees are dying, although they look really healthy to me, I say replace them with more palms. That's sort of the look of Venice that I've always known for the many decades that I've lived here. All right, for a Sunday afternoon, the path is pretty empty. Usually we'd be mobbed out. I would never take this ride on a Sunday, not this late in the morning. But being today is a major holiday, it's not quite so crowded yet, but it'll get there. Once the afternoon rolls around, we're gonna get crowded. Okay, so let's start heading north. We're gonna cross the border. We didn't cross the border, Holmes. The border crossed us, I say, going into the city of Santa Monica. We've made it up to Santa Monica Pier, home of the Pacific Park amusement park. Sort of a reimagining of the original POP, Pacific Ocean Park Pier, that used to be in Venice years ago. About 3.5 miles into my journey. Double that mileage to about 7 miles, it'll take us up to the Palisades. Now we got to go underneath the pier here. And this is when I always have some serious trepidations, because as those of you who watch my video when I was covering the Pacific Palisades fire, you saw where the guy on the electric motorcycle came over into the oncoming lane and hit me right there. Smashed into me at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. Threw me off my bike about 8 feet, did a lot of damage to me and my bike. So I'm always nervous going under there. Plus the pedestrians. What are we eating today? Charcuterie board. Oh, nice. Charcuterie board. Very good. Okay, everybody. What are you having for your Easter dinner? I know a lot of people like to do a traditional ham. We're doing lamb. Lamb and gnocchi. That's lamb and French fries. And by that I mean gyros. That's sort of a tradition me and Moya Jenna have done here over the last decade. We go to the Greek restaurant, we get a gyro. I kind of like that. It's our own unique little twist on Easter. Easter lamb dinner, Greek style. We made it up to Pacific Palisades. Here we are at Pacific Coast Highway and West Channel Road. And we still have Army National Guard, California National Guard, and LAPD preventing access to the neighborhoods, which is good and understandable. Now we shall see if they've opened up the bike path here and the pedestrian path. It's always been closed and guarded. That's the LASD helicopter up there, that's Los Angeles Sheriff's Department airship. I do see tents up there at the top of the incline. I'm really hoping that the rumors are true that it's finally open. It's been closed now for 3 months. Here we are at the entrance to Will Rogers State Beach, and you can see where all the sandbags here. This was the blockade by the National Guard, and it is in fact torn down. Hooray! We're at Will Rogers State Beach for the first time since the fire. Now, it's been over 100 days since the fire. What we need to start demanding from our local politicians is, where's the results of the ATF's investigation? They said already that it was caused by a human source. Well, how, what, when, and where, why? We'd all like to know. There's two theories. A New Year's Eve firework lay dormant for 8 days and burst up again. I don't think that's highly likely. Or a homeless encampment warming and cooking fire got out of control, knowing that there was a homeless encampment within 50 yards of the ignition spot. That's most likely, more likely to me. Why aren't they giving us the results of that investigation? I see we still have a lot of LAPD up in this parking lot here. We've got Verizon, AT&T, Portable cell tower is still up here. And please, mainstream news media and local politicians, stop calling the Palisades Fire a natural disaster. You know what a natural disaster is? Mount Vesuvius erupts and the volcano lava goes all over the community. An earthquake happens and a tsunami comes and causes damage. When a human is the cause and source of the fire, it's not a natural disaster. That's arson, that's abuse, that needs to be investigated and prosecuted. All right, there's my thoughts on that. So we got the lifeguard here at Tower. This is the very famous Pamela Anderson Baywatch Beach where they shot all those episodes. We got LAPD here. 2 female officers talking to some of the people doing a little walking up here. Excavating tools here in the parking lot. Let's take a little drive through the lot here. A little end loader, some water trucks, potable water, flatbed towing, Firma Corporation from Newark, portable lights, some trailers for overnight quartering. I can hear their whisper generators running. Up here I see, it looks like building supplies. Up here it says wood. Could be some wood shingles. Another thing, wood. Got some pallets over here. High performance mulch. So it looks like this is in the dirt truck, debris removal. So it looks like these are the dump trucks here, all queued up, getting ready for more work on Monday morning once our holiday is over here. Anyhow, extremely happy to be back on the bike path here, heading north here in Pacific Palisades, being able to do my bike ride even into the Will Rogers State Beach. So happy Easter, everybody. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Christ has died, Christ is risen, and Christ will come again. Amen. Will Rogers State Beach is open. The ocean looks amazing. What is a disaster is directly across the street here from Pacific Coast Highway is the Tahesian Terrace. You can just see that. That was scorched right down to the ground there. All you see are a few scrubby looking burnt out trees. That's 16001 Pacific Coast Highway in Pacific Palisades, the Tahesian Terrace. This is just a dystopian wasteland. And I feel really horrible for all the people. Probably 35,000 people here in the fires between Palisades and Eaton lost their homes. Look at that. Wow. I didn't even recognize this part of the bike trail. This was the county administration maintenance building where all the county pickup trucks and trash trucks used to be. And it burned. They already raised it. It's just a dirt parking lot here. Didn't even recognize it. Wow. That one really had a huge fire because they had the diesel and gasoline tank there that they used to fill up the county building, the county vehicles. That accelerated the fire there. So as it jumped across Pacific Coast Highway. And again, here across the street, you can just see the rubble, the remains of a rusted out vehicle that completely burned. The trailer homes over there burned down to the ground. Very devastating. I'm Danny Slant.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I see that you pulled over the one car. Are they not supposed to be coming up here unless they have the passes?
So if they have the passes, it's fine for them to come through. Really what I want them to do is make sure they stop at this light, because we're allowing pedestrians to come through.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure that they're making stops at each light.
Okay, so
yeah.
so flashing red from I remember my DMV test.
There you go.
Stop.
Yes.
Treat it as a stop sign.
Correct.
How about if we're on the bicycles? We always like to roll through them, right? We do.
I've seen a couple.
Do you know Idaho Stop? Have you ever heard of that term?
Never heard of that
okay,
term.
so Idaho and I think 17 other states have said that as long as there's no other vehicular traffic, a bicycle can go through a stop sign. He can treat it as a yield.
Okay.
And a red light, he must come to a complete stop on a red light, but he's allowed to go through it.
Oh.
And they do this in Europe as well. So it's like,
really?
now this might be a little, I would think you would just adhere. There's too much traffic on Pacific Coast. But we call that the Idaho Stop.
Idaho Stop.
Sometimes we used to call it the Oakland Stop, but that's not really the law, but Idaho Stop. Anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on my channel. I got your permission to go ahead and put me on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
And it's Danny?
Danny Slant.
Danny,
and you are?
Susie Portillo.
So Susie Portillo. Have you been to Portillo's?
I have heard of them. I've never been.
Go to Portillo's.
It's so good.
Get yourself a hot dog with all the fixings.
Which was your favorite?
I like the Italian beef and sausage. You get a combo. You get the beef,
I need
Italian
to try that
beef.
one.
It's got the au jus on it, and then you got the sausage. That's a spicy pork sausage on there. It's on a guanella bread. That's like a crunchy hard roll bread.
Nice.
Sweet peps
sounds
and
good.
Giardiniera.
You convinced me.
All right, let's go. Put the lights in. Throw my bike in the trunk. Put the lights in Sarna, and we'll be down in Orange County in
like
about 30 minutes.
Yeah,
exactly.
20. Take
awesome.
Care.
Good talking to you.
Safe.
Take care. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Okay, awesome. Officer Portillo, super friendly. Generally speaking, I find my interactions with LAPD and Sheriff's Department and California Highway Patrol to be like at the utmost professional level. Like they really do drill it into them to be super friendly. Public relation goes a long way, right? Talking to the public. Of course, I'm just also dating myself because I remember the old days where, yeah, they were a little bit more stricter on the law enforcement. So I don't know, it's a trade-off. I would actually be willing to give up the friendliness if they started actually going after the misdemeanors a little bit more often. But in any case, wonderful interaction there. So she's making sure people stop at the flashing red light here. That's a pedestrian crossing. They're letting people go over there. So the lady basically ran through it, gave her a warning. Okay, 7.62. Yap. More biking, less filming, more cardio, less talking. Okay, let's go. Remember, if you're enjoying the content of the Danny Slant channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the bell notifications, leave a like, leave a comment. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm and allows me to continue bringing you the absolutely fantabulous content of the Danny Slant channel. Good to see everybody up here hiking now. I've been waiting 3 months for this path to open.
Our first day.
Yes, I heard last night and they said it's open. I've been trying to come up here almost every other week.
Yes.
This is my
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's-
I just heard
it's
this.
kind of
We
sad.
always went to Temescal Park and walked. We couldn't do it for so long.
Yeah, and it's an important part
We
of
were
our
talking
daily.
about this,
Yeah.
that, a day before the fire, we were admiring the weather and how beautiful it is.
Right.
Nobody else has it like us, and then the next day,
Yeah.
the
Right.
fire. And
Yeah. Right. Huge tragedy. Exactly. Well, this is important for me because this is part of my daily routine, so I like to use it for my cardio. There's
great.
so many people. I mean, that's why I live in Southern California. Honestly, I don't like to get political, but I don't like much of the politics out here. But I love the people and I love the weather, and that's enough to make me stay. That's why I've lived in Venice for over 3 decades. So, and that's where I'm going to now. I got to get my workout in so I can have a big dinner this afternoon with the fam. How you doing? You're back to work now, right? Collecting the gate fees to come into the beach, right? Okay, it's good to see that, right? Any tourists coming today? Are we getting some people?
No, the Portillo is closed for the public.
Oh, so it's closed for public.
Yeah.
So you're just you're only letting the workers in.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're just keeping an eye, make sure only workers only.
That's right.
Okay, all right, but still good to see you out here. I'm happy. It's my first time up on the path here now. I used to ride this every day,
Yeah.
so you'll see me tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, have a good Easter.
You too.
Ciao, ciao.
Same to you.
We got a plethora of dump trucks here. A lot of Kenworths. Love the Kenworth. Oh, yep, and the cousin of the Kenworth, the Peterbilt. Kenworth and Peterbilt. Two big trucks, still manufactured in the United States. That's what I like to see. Jobs for the USA people, good paying, high skilled jobs, making complex big diesel trucks for hauling dirt. There's another one, Freightliner, another American company. Peterbilt, Kenworth, Freightliner, just a line of them here. Probably 50, 60 of them in a row. These guys are all off with their family. Western Star, all right, there's another good American company. Like to see that. All right, here we got one foreign. Volvo. Let's sneak a Volvo in the mix. Okay. So, yeah, looks like your construction firms are using American made. America. F yeah. So here's a copy of his permit. That's the United States Army Corps of Engineers. You see that right next to where it says Wildfire. That little castle looking logo, the Braude. Debris removal. He's a contractor, so he's got a contract with the US government to clear out that toxic soil off the top of the land. Clear it out, and I see they've got some other soil they lay on top of it as well. Got LAPD here, just keep an eye on things here. How you doing? Happy Easter. Okay. These pallets that are stacked up, and now that a closer inspection I see it's a high performance mulch, a wood mulch. So to me that would say they're taking off the topsoil and then they're throwing down a wood mulch barrier right after that. Some of these guys say erosion control, so I would assume the mulch, they probably wet it down. That stops the debris from flying away. Over here it says it's sold, do not use. What we got here? What actually is this? Oh, I'll do a little camera look. Hopefully we'll pick that up on camera and see what it is. All right. Got an end loader right here. And another high boy over here with wood mulch on it. And it looks like a watering apparatus. So, yeah, they must scrape off that soil and then throw down a layer of mulch. Here we got U.S. Army Corps of Engineers contractor, security trailer. Got a fire prevention team over here. Sand and gravel, private. And big construction trucks don't run on electricity, my friend. That's ultra low sulfur red diesel #2. Now, you may not know what red diesel #2 is, but red diesel is diesel that is not subject to federal or state taxation. It is to be used only for construction projects. So yes, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers subcontractors, they get to use red diesel, which when you get rid of the federal excise and the state taxes, literally drops your price per gallon well below 50%. So, yep. Of course, those of you running a famous Volkswagen 1.9 TDIs would love to have some of that red diesel, right? The car would run on the same. It's only dyed red so they can tell that it's a tax-exempt source. And not too much in America, but I know in Europe they will dip your tanks looking for that red diesel. Anyhow, we're heading back. We're gonna pedal down the incline here and cross over the bridge and start heading back into Santa Monica. Okay, let's see how we're doing on mileage for today. 14.63. Excellent. Great ride. So, that concludes today's ride. We're back here, sunny, gorgeous, beautiful Penmar Park, Venice Beach, California. Super excited and elated that the Marvin Braude Oceanfront Walk bike path is finally reopened from Venice Beach all the way up to Pacific Palisades. We're wishing everybody happy Pesach, happy Easter, and remember, upcoming in 2 days, happy Earth Day. Remember, every day is Earth Day. Get out there and go for a bike ride. Okay, it's Danny Slant saying, ciao ciao for now.
Danny Slant is a Slavic American. He loves long distance bicycle touring, holidays, bike trekking and travel adventures. He protects it